The federal takeover of Washington, D.C. is blowing a hole in the economy of the city. We have new data that restaurant reservations plunged more than 25% in the days after Donald Trump announced that he was federalizing the police of Washington, D.C. Hilariously, this morning on Fox and Friends, during his softball interview gone wrong, Donald Trump said, "Oh, restaurants are bursting in D.C." It turns out that this is not true. Listen to what Trump said.
But Mr.
But now I'm
President,
doing something that I'm having such fun with because I'm helping people. I've made Washington D.C. Just an incredible place. In literally 4 days, I have friends that say they're going out to dinner. Did you see what's happening with the restaurants? They're bursting.
Yes,
they were all closing and going bankrupt. I mean, it would be. It would be great. There's a guy named Sean Hannity. He might take a very lovely young lady that he knows very well to dinner in Washington, and they don't have to. And she's sitting right next to you, by the way.
That's right.
But
Mr. President,
I don't want to get him in trouble, so I better explain exactly. We don't want any secrets here. But
exactly
he's got. That's the greatest relationship. I hope I'm not breaking any news. This could be the biggest. Hey, this could be the most important thing I said. But let me tell you, those are two great, Ainsley and Sean, great people. And when they go out to dinner, I don't want to see them get mugged. Now they can go out.
So listen, Trump says DC restaurants are bursting. They're not. And we're going to do a segment later this week on really the self-inflicted nature of a lot of the economic issues that Trump is now dealing with. These are optional issues. He didn't have to do a lot of this stuff. But it was supposed to be a really good month for restaurants in Washington, D.C. They were heading into restaurant week. This is one of the busiest time of years. They do, hundreds of restaurants have special menus and they try to bring people in. And D.C. had 11 months of year over year growth in restaurants. The dining scene in D.C. was bouncing back. And in comes Trump. And on the day that Trump makes this announcement about federalizing the police, reservations declined 16% compared to the same day previous year. By Tuesday, they were down 27%. By Wednesday, reservations were down 31%. And this is not something that is happening nationally. This is because of what Trump is doing. DC is one of only two major cities seeing a decline in dining. The other one's Las Vegas, which, by the way, we've talked about on the bonus show. It is also getting wrecked by Donald Trump's immigration policy, by the trade chaos. But we're talking about D.C. today. Trump justified the D.C. takeover by saying, listen, crime was out of control, even though crime stats show crime in D.C. is at like a 30-year low or something like that. We need to do this, and it's going to help D.C. It's going to liberate D.C. It's another liberation day. And yet restaurant dining is down 30%. 30%. You've got, and I understand it, right? I was just in DC recently and ICE is all over. Militarized forces are all over some of the streets where I went out to dinner with friends. Is it an inviting environment when I show up to my dinner to see ICE and the DEA and National Guard troops all stationed outside the restaurants I'm trying to go to, spooking locals, spooking tourists, arrests, this kind of very military police state feeling environment. So of course the economy of DC is now going to suffer. And that's really the story here, which is we were told we need to protect DC residents and we need to protect DC businesses. The businesses are being punished. The businesses and the restaurants are now looking around going, business is down because of what's going on. Fewer people are coming to DC, and the people in DC are saying, I'm not going to go out to dinner in this environment. So this collapse that's happening, it's not, oh my goodness, there's so much crime, I'm not going to go out to eat. It's, oh, they've militarized the streets. I don't want to be around that. So we zoom out. We'll delve more into this next week, later in the week. But look at the broader economic impacts of what we're seeing. Estimates are that at full impact, Trump's tariffs could cut GDP by up to 6% and lower wages by up to 5%. Who is that terrible for? Working class families, lower, middle, working class families. The tariff whiplash, the tariffs are on, the tariffs are off. That creates uncertainty. That hurts markets. It scares off investment. So that's not good. On a practical level, the ICE raids have really diminished farm labor. And so you're starting to see billions lost in crops that can't be picked. And then also, we've got the grocery prices, wholesale vegetable prices up 38%. And then you've got mass deportations, which, even though they are falling well short of the goal that Stephen Miller had of 3,000 deportations a day, because there aren't actually that many people to deport, it is still affecting the labor force. And that could push inflation beyond 4% next year. And then you've got the big, beautiful bill, the one big bill, whatever they're calling it at this point, which adds trillion to the deficit, cuts social programs, and puts millions of people at risk of losing health coverage. So you look at the totality of this. This is self-inflicted economic disaster. The only person to blame is Trump, and I guess the people around him who have been whispering into his ear that this is a good idea. So we're going to have much more on this on our Substack, substack.davidpakman.com. Let me know if you are seeing higher prices in your city. And if you're in the DC area, I would love to hear from you. Are you dining out more, less since the militarization? Let me know. info@davidpakman.com.